best behavior.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our One World Zohar, our energy connection with the Zohar for the week. This week's portion is Noah in our edition of the Zohar. It's volume 2, and we're reading an article at paragraph 22 entitled Drink Water Out of Your Own Cistern. Let's begin by inviting in the lineage of Kabbalists, the Rav and Karen Michael, Rabbi Schlag, Rabbi Brandwein, the Ria Kodesh, Ramchal, Rabbi Tafon, Rabbi Mazulai, Rabbi Nachum Mendel of Vitebsk, Rabbi Kolona Mishapia Pia Setzna, the Baal Shem Tov, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and all the students, Rabbi Mordechai of Chernobyl, one soul with Yosef Tzadik in Shechem. Let's also, by the way, when I say lineage of Kabbalists, there's many Kabbalists. Those are the ones that resonate with me the strongest. But if you have a Kabbalist that resonates strongly for you, by all means, invite them in. Let's turn our consciousness to the flawless universe, the upper realm, the 99% realm. And from there, let's begin by channeling energy of healing. And let's send out healing energy to everyone we know. If you know their name, even better. Minda Bat Chaya, Moshe Ben Chana, Melda Bat Carmen, Albert Ben Imelda, Yisrael Zev Ben Menya Rachel, Ariel Ben Rivka Tova, Meir Tzvi Ben Gittel, Nachman Mechaya, Rachel Bechaya, Jeffrey Ben Fern, Shandor Bechaya Chana, Levi Ben Bluma, Sorbat Malka, Yisbat Rivka, Melissa Bat Margie, Chanab de Rivka, Yudi Masanavon Bat Daviva, Ganesh Rachel Dina, Surupel Bat Yita Reza, Karabat Susan, Aviva Bat Naina. Let's also send out energy of assistance to those souls that we know are in the first 12 months of the soul's elevation. Let's also connect to and manifest the energy of treating everyone in the world with human decency, ending the conflicts in our world, the global conflicts, the regional conflicts, protection for all innocents that are in harm's way, protection from evil eye and evil speech, and removing chaos and negativity from our world. Okay, verse 22. We're going to read the Aramaic to connect to the energy of the week, the energy of this portion, and then Alice is going to read the intro for us. 22. Kativ shtei mayim mi borcha benozlim mitoch be'ercha. Amai borcha bekadmeta ulvatar be'ercha dahabor la ikre ela rekanya de la nevi'ah be'er mayin denav in ela kol atar chadhu ela atar demiskne achidan be ikre bor delate le midile ela mad yahivin begave uman ihu dalit. Okay, so before we get to this introduction, which gives us some deep insights, we have two things that are going on. Well, there's multiple things going on, but two I'd like to point out. One is we're in the new moon of Scorpio, which was yesterday and the day before. It was a 2-day new moon. So this technically then becomes the second day of Scorpio. In Hebrew, it's called Mar Cheshvan, which means bitter Cheshvan. In Kabbalistic circles, we don't refer to it as bitter Cheshvan. We are referring to it as Ram Cheshvan. We take the two letters of bitter and reverse them, and it spells out Ram. Same letters, same internal energy, but the order of the letters transforms from bitter to elevation. And so this is a month which we will be confronted with harshness. It's going to come up. It's already coming up. And we can look at that harshness from a victim mentality at a level of, in other words, if we look at the first 3 levels of soul, nefesh, ruach, neshama, at the level of nefesh, when things happen to us, we just go right to victim consciousness. So we're going to encounter things here that are harsh, and we're going to potentially go into victim consciousness. But in a more elevated consciousness, which is where we want to be, we're not at nefesh, we're at ruach. And the level of ruach, we realize these things aren't happening to me. I'm not a victim. They're happening for me. The harshness I'm encountering is happening for me. It's to assist me on my journey. It's to assist me in my elevation. It's to assist me in connecting more deeply and more aligned with my soul's purpose. So the opportunity that this month presents and this class presents is for us to shift our mindset away from victim consciousness and understand everything that's happening to us is happening for us now. That's easy to say.
Hey, David,
Yes.
as long as you brought that up, allow me to share. So I had a call with my teacher yesterday, and we were reading from Noach, but specifically to the point you made. I was sharing with him how I'm in the real estate business, and I had been on 2 days of sales calls. And on the way back, I literally had 3 projects explode. And I said, I had been carrying such good positivity and connection to the Creator and connection since Rosh Hashanah. And I said, essentially, I was saying, I lost it. And just to the point you said, he reminded me, the minute he said was, the Creator is giving this to you because you've stopped your conversation with the Creator. You've stopped having as much connection to the Creator. So a reminder, because when we get into the flood and you go through some of this, is that's why it all happened, right?
Right. Right. It happening for you in this case, to your point, it's happening because I'm not really inviting the Creator into the dialogue as much as I should. And so to Peter's point, like, what do we do about that? Okay, it's easy to say, okay, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. It's so easy to say that. But in a deeper way, it's an opportunity for us to change, to shift our mindset. And especially important this month. And we've done all this work over the holidays in the last month. So it's like, okay, now we're taking it out on the road. You built the car, now we're taking it out on the road. You built the vessel essentially. And now we're it's no longer the test drive is done. This is real life. This is where this is the test of life. This is really where it's at. So we're going to be tested. The question is, what do I do about that? And so one of the things, and I've heard our teachers say, one of the things that we want to focus on is getting out. It's one thing to say get out of a victim consciousness, but it's really more about just contributing and sharing more and just being there for people, taking the focus away from where I'm at and looking at the people in my life and what more can I do? I'm not saying overdoing it, but there's definitely things that we can do to assist both the people in our lives, the people around us, the communities around us. There's definitely ways in which we can take our energy and contribute them in positive ways. And that's how we navigate the choppy waters of this month. Is staying out of victim consciousness, is elevating our consciousness not from the level of nefesh, victim, to ruach. It's happening for me. I'm not a victim. This is all serving me in one way or another. And then at the level of neshama, I'm just a channel. So like I just want to be channeling as much light as possible to the world around me. And when I am within a mindset and a framework of positivity, and that means sharing, I'm going to be attracting more positive situations into my life. Yes, Aaron.
So I wanted to piggyback off of what Peter said. So Michael Berg said in the new moon of Scorpio, because the noon in Scorpio represents falling, right? Does the noon represent falling?
Yes. Nun is the word nefilah, fall.
Nephila, yeah. So he said like, it's for this month especially, it's when you go down, like when you fall, it's for the purpose of getting back up. Like it's, like when you go down, but it's for the purpose of elevating. And I thought that was really profound.
Yeah, it is. It's like we look at falling and then, our ego takes over the other side starts beating us up. Oh my God, look what you did. And turns it into a whole negative. I mean, I don't want to take away from the pain, but again, it may be painful, but it doesn't mean we have to suffer. And so, to Ron's point, we are gonna fall. We're gonna experience harshness. Some of it's gonna feel like it's self-imposed. It's not self-imposed. It's the other side. It's the Satan that is exploiting us in that way when we fall. But to Ron's point, that is happening. How is it serving us? It's helping us to elevate. Okay, with all that, Alex, can you read the intro?
Our realm of Malchut cannot draw on the light without first arousing desire, and desire is aroused through the building of one's vessel.
Okay, so we have Noah. The Creator tells him to build an ark. There's going to be a flood. And he starts building it. And it was going on for hundreds of years. I mean, it wasn't like he built the ark on Tuesday and it started raining on Friday. That's not the way it played out. It was going on for a long time. So, like, but that's like, we know the story. He built the ark, two animals, very kind, went in, whatever. They went into the ark. The flood happened. They came out and they started a new world. I mean, it's a great little, it's almost like a fairy tale story. That's great if you're in kindergarten. But what relevance does that have to my life now? And if you want to dive into that in a myriad of ways, the Zohar of Noah goes into many, many things. I just stumbled upon this particular article, but it's all about and our spiritual journey and study. It's not for the sake of information. It's the opportunity that we have to realize what present moment relevance this has to us. It's not looking at some historical event that happened in the past. The flood is always happening. The energy of the flood is going to be going on this month. So the question is, like, what is the opportunity? What is the present moment relevance of this energy for us? And it's a combination both of this month of Cheshvan, of Scorpio, and this reading of Noah. Noah always happens in this month of Cheshvan, of Scorpio. So what we're learning here, and the opportunity is, again, let's turn our focus. If we're going to really make this worthwhile, let's turn our focus to like the construct of our reality. We're in the realm of Malchut. It has no light of its own. You can't manifest light in this realm without a vessel. Nothing happens without a vessel. You need a vessel. Whoa, that's still got coffee in it. You need a vessel. Your soul can't manifest without a body. Nothing manifests without a vessel. And what's a vessel from a spiritual perspective? It's desire. So the first thing that we're connecting to is this construct of, I can't manifest light in this realm without a vessel. And the vessel is desire. The worst thing to have is no desire in your life. If you lack desire, you will lack the ability to draw sustainable light into your life. So part of our goal on the spiritual path is to grow our desire. Well, who determines the desire? Can I just grow it? Is it some kind of supplement I can order on Amazon? No, it's not. You ask the Creator for assistance. Part of what we're doing is the source of all things. We want to engage in a dialogue, to Peter's point earlier, with the Creator, where we see that we have a low desire. We're going to ask the Creator for assistance in growing our desire, in growing our vessel. Good news, though, is you wouldn't be on this call if you didn't already have a large vessel, a lot of desire. There's no way. Who has desire to study esoteric things like this? Not a lot of people. And don't think for 1 second that the reason why you're here is because you made a conscious decision to come here. That's not why. That's part of the Creator's plan.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, Rocky.
And you're right, I was led here. I had no, this was not my intention, trust me. I was just being nosy and found the Kabbalah Center. But based on my birthday, right, my portion is Noah. So I don't quite understand, what does that mean when they say your portion is, what do you do with that? How do you operate in that? How do I develop and grow and utilize that to be a better human being?
Well, I would say it's much like this Scorpio is your birth month astrologically also, right?
No, actually it's Libra. That's
Okay.
my twin is sitting right there up there.
Okay, so you were right before.
Same day, different year.
Oh, no
Okay,
way.
so Libra is
portion, too.
different energy than Scorpio, but let's talk about Libra. So why were you born in Libra? Because once upon a time, you were up in heaven and you said to the Creator, I know I need there's work I need to do in my soul. And I want to go back down there to that realm of Malchut so I can work on my soul. And these are the things I want to work on. And you gave him a list. And the Creator said, okay, no problem, done. And the Creator
What
said,
was wrong with me?
well, nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with any of us. It's everything right. That's the point. Like the Creator said, look, here's the family you're going to be born into. Here's your parents. Here's your siblings. Here's your neighborhood. Here's your teachers. Here's your opportunity. Everything that you need to work on what you told me you want to work on is going to be set up for you. It's going to be perfect. And you're like, awesome, that's what I want. And the Creator says, great, there's just one thing. You will not remember this conversation. And it's like, here we are. What's happening to me and why is this happening? It's happening because this is what we ordered. This is what we asked for. We asked for this opportunity. So that's why you were born in the month of Libra, because Libra has energy that is unique somewhat, but it's important because it relates directly with the work that you needed to complete in this lifetime. And the same goes for the portion of Noah.
So that relates to the portion. So my work relates to the portion of Noah.
That's
flood.
correct. That's correct.
And the wiping out of humanity as it was, the world as it was, and the water represents cleansing. I get that part.
Well, it does. And also, let me just point out, the ark itself represents energy of protection. And you were directed to this path because when we're sitting here studying Zohar, we're entering the energy of protection. So that's another aspect of it to think about.
Okay, I'm even more confused now, but okay, they say
You're doing a good job then.
Let them.
They say take what you need and leave the rest.
Happy birthday, Rocky.
Yeah. Well, I would say it's always confusing when confronted with the deeper truth. We're always like deer in the headlight because if we knew it, we would already know it. But right. But I would challenge all of us to give it an opportunity to resonate. Let it sink in. And by the way, that's one of the things we focus on many times during our prayers, our communal prayers, our connections, our services. Comes up a lot in different circumstances, asking for memory. What's spiritual memory? Well, it's remembering what the purpose of your being here is. And if we knew it, we wouldn't be asking for it. We don't see it because what happens is ego gets in the way. But your soul knows. Your soul knows the truth. Yes, Aaron.
Just one more thing. So Rocky, this is so cool because the Zohar is the ark.
Right. Right.
And by the way, not answering your question, Rocky, but giving you insight. That's the perfect opportunity to be asking that question over and over to the Creator so that you get the messages from the Creator on why you were born into this portion and into the sign you were born into.
Right.
Yes.
And it's
It's
looking at all the challenges again as opportunities to do the work that I came here to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had a horrible experience. Well, I felt it was horrible when I was in there in the fetus position back in August. And it just dawned on me what we say, what I hear us saying all the time is this isn't about me. It's not a bad thing that's happening to me. It's a good thing that's happening for me to learn. And the learning part is sometimes so painful and ugly that you forget in the midst of it, you know?
Absolutely.
And then something happens to give you an aha moment that says, oh, hey, this happened and I know this now, you know? And but in the midst of it, it's horrible, you know, and ugly.
Right. Horrible. I mean, I'm not referring to those circumstances because I don't know them, but what's coming up for me in the context of Noah is this idea of public humiliation. I mean, in the movie, I forget which movie it was about Noah, which Noah movie it was. I mean, people, and this is part of the narrative, like they were making fun of him. I mean, we know that's part of the story. Everyone's making fun. He's building an ark. There's going to be a flood. What a joke. So, like, this is the energy of, like, in that case, public humiliation. It's like one of the worst things you can experience is embarrassment.
That's what happened. Yep, that's what happened.
Okay, you
But
didn't tell.
this part just hit me is how can you imagine how afraid they must have been in the ark during the rain, during the flooding? How much fear had to be experienced about not really knowing, just being guided and doing what you were told, but not knowing what the outcome. Because as a Libra, I always want to know what the end. I want to know before I do it, what's going to happen.
I mean, I'm not sure they were so fearful. They were the ones who survived. Maybe they felt like they got out in the nick of time.
How about they felt they were totally being guided by the Creator?
Yeah, that's what they saw themselves in, kind of like in the Creator's hand, if you will.
Remember, the people that did not get on the boat, and by the way, it was 120 years that it took Noah to build the ark. The people that did not get on the boat, very much like and again, there's so many symmetries in the whole Torah portion, but very much like the golden calf. There were the people that didn't believe, lost faith, and did something not so good.
So there's that. There's also, I want to get back to this idea of humiliation, because what our teachers tell us about embarrassment and humiliation is it's removing my negativity, because it's ego. My soul doesn't care. My soul doesn't care what I do, as long as it's aligned with my soul's work. But my soul doesn't care about embarrassment. My ego cares about embarrassment. I know, but David, it's like legit painful. I know it's painful, but you don't have to suffer. I know it's painful. But it's removing negativity. And it's assisting us in rising above ego's influence. Because I might be afraid to do things because what will people say? I mean, was Noah afraid to build the ark because of what will people will say? No, he wasn't. And it's part of the power and opportunity we have in this week is to really be more aligned with our soul's work. His soul's work was to save humanity. There was too much negativity. He was going to get all washed away. And so in the work that we do, we may also expose ourselves to embarrassment and humiliation. But it's removing negativity. It's removing ego's influence. So it's a huge takeaway and opportunity we have this week as we connect to the energy of Noah. It's always a huge opportunity, but especially this week. Okay. So when we think about the building of one's vessel, that's our desire to receive. Well, in this case, Noah was actually building a boat vessel. I'm just going to say that what was coming up for me as I'm talking about this is like, I grew up in a pretty rural area, and my next door neighbor, as a child, my next door neighbor, he had a boat, and he kept the boat on a trailer in the side yard, which is where we were always playing touch football, tackle football, is it? We were always playing football there around the boat. So the boat was just part of my reality. I barely noticed it. But like every so often on a Sunday, my neighbor he would get in the boat and get on the radio and he'd talk to other boats. I mean, they thought he was out in the water. He was actually in his side yard. I'm sure he put it in the water, but I don't ever recall that really happening. But he was another guy with a boat. Again, like for him, it served the purpose. For Noah, it was serving a purpose, but it was the long game. It was 120 years, as Peter just said. It's a long time to be sitting, building a boat in your backyard, and everyone's seeing it. There's no, when's it raining, Noah? Ha ha. When's the flood coming? And so, again, another opportunity for us to align ourselves with our soul's purpose, because Noah was aligned with his soul's purpose. And so it's an opportunity for us also to get guidance on what our soul's purpose is and where we should be putting our energy, where we should be sharing, where we should be investing more of ourselves. All right, Alex, let's continue.
According to the Zohar, righteous souls build vessels through their positive actions and spiritual deeds.
And again, that aligns very well with what we're talking about in terms of this month of Scorpio, of Mar Cheshvan, of Ram Cheshvan. Like, how do we turn that harshness, those challenges, into opportunities? Well, let's not stay in victim consciousness. Let's build vessels. Let's engage in positive actions. Let's engage in spiritual deeds. Let's give people the benefit of the doubt. Let's support people who need help emotionally. Let's continue.
The secret is concealed within the story of Noah. The ark signifies the realm of Malchut. Noah represents the righteous souls. We learn that after Noah built and entered the ark, he was then able to beget offspring to populate the world.
And what does that mean for us? Offspring to populate the world, or us in our ability to spread spiritual wisdom and peace and unconditional love and understanding throughout the world? I mean, the purpose of our Kabbalistic study of the Kabbalah Center is to remove pain and suffering from the world. That's the purpose. No shortage of pain and suffering. We can look around, it's there. What we're doing in aligning ourselves with the light of the Creator is to be channels of that light, of that energy, and to remove pain and suffering from the world. Let's continue.
We learn that after Noah built and entered the ark, he was then able to beget offspring to populate the world. Building and entering the ark is the mystery concerning the awakening of desire in Malchut, and the offspring of Noah pertain to the light of the Creator that is revealed in our physical realm.
Okay, so by building the vessel, we're filling it with light. We're manifesting light in this world. So our desire for more light is what's necessary to manifest more light in this world. And that's our vessel. And that's the journey we're on. And that's why we're on this path of Kabbalistic study and work. For us, it's helping us invigorate or reinvigorate the tools that we have. We have within us the spark of the Creator. There's something that Michael Berg shared a few weeks ago, is this idea that we should be asking every day to awaken, to power up our dormant abilities to change the world like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did. And that's another way of asking for the desire to do that. Like, I am desirous of changing the world and using my powers, my dormant powers, but awakening them so that I can be a change agent aligned with the change that Abram, Isaac, and Jacob were able to bring into the world. Let's continue.
We become righteous souls who awaken the desire of Malchut each time we recognize, admit, and thus uproot our own negative traits, transforming them into positive attributes.
So that's the thing. Well, what does it mean, my negative traits? My desire to see for the self. The many ways in which I am either victim consciousness, I'm caught up in my own challenges, as seeing them as victim consciousness, I'm unwilling to step out of my comfort zone, or I think I'm unable to step out of my comfort zone. Like, it's okay. Part of what, if I desire something, I mean, when I'm in my comfort zone, I don't desire anything. We didn't come here to be in our comfort zone. We came here to step out of it. It's like anywhere in your life where you perceive that there's something you're hesitant to do of a positive nature, that's what we should be looking at, and that's the direction we should be going in. That's reading the tea leaves, so to speak. Is exactly the opposite of what we would think. And no, it could change in an instant, but like it's just putting one foot in front of the other and walking in that direction. We're not asked, and this is actually a famous quote, we're not asked to complete the task. We're just asked to work on it. It's the old metaphor of like, we're not being asked to move the rock, we're just being asked to push the rock. But like, I may see a challenge in front of me, and I'm like, I don't, and I do, multiple challenges. I mean, I don't know what I need to do to get it to happen, to get the result. It's not about the result. It's about the journey. I just need to work on it and to be open to see what happens, to see what plays out, to see what opportunities. Ask the light for help. Light, please help me with this. Please show me the next step I need to take. Again, this is us growing desire, as opposed to staying in our comfort zone and not really caring, so to speak. Let's continue.
From this section, we receive the ability to act with righteousness, thus arousing the desires of Malchut. Okay, so what the tremendous opportunity here is to wake up our desire to receive. Well, we have a desire to receive, but to wake up our desire to receive for the sake of sharing. That's what we mean by acting with righteousness. It's not about me. It's about me as a channel, the level of neshama. Me as a channel. And that arouses the desires of Malchut. That creates a flow of blessings into our world. Okay, let's read the English to 22. It is written, drink water out of your own cistern and running water out of your own well.
Okay, so I don't know how that connects. How does that connect to the story of Noah? Well, it involves water. Because that's a verse from the prophet Mishlei. So like, what is that telling it? What is the significance of this? That sounds more like desire to receive of the self.
But it's also left column energy,
cistern.
right? I mean, left column is water.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, each of the, right, isn't it Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio?
Those astrological signs are definitely water signs. But we look at water as chesed, as right column, as spirituality. If you are, though, one of those water signs, and the more of your chart is in water signs, the more intuitive you naturally are. It doesn't mean you're going to see it, because depending on what kind of cultural background you have, that's not always encouraged. Although I've talked to people who weren't religious in any sense and weren't Kabbalistic in any sense, but were really intuitive, and there was someone in their life that knew that and encouraged that. I don't know if any of us had that experience. I didn't. But I got a ton of water in my sign. Now I see it more so. So again, that's knowing that is an opportunity for us to remove the blockages. Because, like, for example, if you grew up in a normal North American community, it's like, there's no emphasis on spirituality. So you might have had an intuitive experience. You might have had a premonition, and you're like, that's weird, and you move on. You don't lean into it. We need to lean into that. We need to self-validate when those things happen. We need to strengthen those intuitive abilities by recognizing them when they happen so that we are more connected to that aspect of who we are. So anyhow, what's a cistern? Well, they used to build these underground reservoirs to capture rainwater when it rained, so they'd have it at their disposal and they'd have it during the non-rainy season. It's a vessel. Let's continue.
He asks, why does it say your own cistern first and then your own well, since a cistern is an empty place without water, while a well is a fountain of running water?
Okay, interesting. So this particular verse in Mishlei is drawing a distinction between water from your cistern and running water out of your own well. The Zohar is saying, well, isn't it kind of out of order? The water is in the well, not in the cistern. Let's see.
In other words, they are different from each other. He answers, both are the same, meaning that both refer to the female principle.
And Rav Shlag is adding that. And what do we mean by female principle? Vessel, the realm of manifestation. That's our world. This is the realm of manifestation. Nothing happens here on its own. It's coming from the upper realm. This realm has no light of its own. I mean, you look around, it looks like it does. It doesn't. That's an illusion. Everything that's here is here because of a desire. And as I pointed out before, when I first heard this, it was kind of a mind blower for me. Gravity is the ultimate desire to receive for the self. I mean, the planet Earth holds everything. It's naturally part of the fabric of our physical universe. Gravity is desire to receive.
Right. I mean, this is my thing. When I think of female principle, I think of like desire to receive, and male or masculine energy is giving. So where Ashlag says here, meaning when the female principle is meaning that both refer to the female principle, both of those things are receiving the water.
Yes, they are. Yes. Let's continue.
But when the poor are attached to that region, meaning when the female principle is not connected with Zerampin, who is her husband, she is considered to be poor and is called a cistern with nothing of its own except what it puts inside it.
So that's the distinction here. A cistern is an empty vessel. Our world is an empty vessel. This is not about, gender. This is about energy. Energetically, the female principle, our world, also the example of the cistern, is a vessel without any light in it. And our work is to create that connectivity, is to manifest the water, if you will. That's what happens when our world of Malchut is connected to Zeranpin, the channels through which light, water, energy, life enters this world. Let's continue.
This is the letter Dalet, or the female principle, when she is not connected with Zerampin.
And Dalet is one of the letters of this month. Why Dalet? I can't answer that other than that's what it is. Let's take one more paragraph. 23. Levatar it avid be'er di'ihu nevi'ah umalya mikol sitrin uman iu ke itmalya me'ala me'ela unevi'ah mitata itmalya me'ela kama da'amaran unevi'ah mitata minish maton tzadikaya.
And later, when she mates with Zerampin, she becomes a well filled from all sides. This means that she is filled from the right column of Zerampin and from the central column from the souls of the righteous.
And so again, this is Rabbi Shlag explaining that this is the construct of our reality, how light, energy, blessings enter our world. Go ahead.
And what do these signify? It is the letter K, or the female principle. When she is mating with Zerin Pin, she is called K. When she's being filled from above from Zerin Pin and flowing from below from the souls of the righteous.
And so what K is that? That K is the last letter of the Tetragrammaton, which we know as Malchut. And so what does the Tetragrammaton represent? I mean, I thought it was just the name of God. I didn't know where it came from. It's just a name that we don't pronounce. That has 4 letters, Yud, K, Vav, K. And we say K, but it's really Hey, because the Heys themselves are very holy. And unless we're saying in the context of a blessing, we just say K, because we don't want to use that when it's not necessary. And when it comes to blessings, that's when we need it. So we have the Yud, K, Vav, K. The Yud is Chokhmah, the first K is Binah, the Vav is Zeran Pin, and the final K is Malchut. And so when we have unity, when we have a connection to the Tetragrammaton, we have a connection to the energy as represented by the Tetragrammaton, we have a K, we have our realm of Malchut that's being filled with light from the upper realm. And that's the light of blessings, the light of fulfillment, the light of healing. And that's everything that we want to be manifesting in the world. And when we do this study and we connect in this way, we may not see the impact, but this is having a huge impact in manifesting more blessings in our world. And so thank you everyone for joining. We're out of time. Thanks for reading, Alex. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Love you all. Have a
Shabbat
great
Shalom.
weekend.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
Gotcha.